Hi everyone, Joe here from Inkle. I've got a new Highland game update for you, this time in full high resolution video. So Flora has been doing a fantastic job of creating loads of these pencil sketch animations that eventually we're going to colour in, but I just love the look and feel of the pencils, the kind of the hand-drawn aesthetic of the animations, because we've got this kind of painterly background style. This whole thing is a work in progress, by the way. It's still fairly early in the game's development, but yeah, I love this combination of the painterly aesthetic in the background and the hand-drawn animation. It looks fantastic. So this is the idle animation, and Flora's made a bunch of running animations, and one of my favorite parts of this is the way we have different animations for running uphill versus along the level and downhill. I especially love that downhill animation, it's great. And then she's also been producing these transition animations, so transitioning from run to idle there, and the transition from idle to run, and then also changing directions as well, like that. And it all kind of blends together really nicely and fluidly. I'll show you a few of the sprite sheets actually that Flora has created, because they're really interesting and nice to see, and it's amazing how much you can convey in very few frames. So this is the transition from running to idle, and this was actually partly inspired by the original Prince of Persia, which had a really nice rotoscoped style and a real sense of weight to it. So that's been an inspiration for us, as well as Spiritfarer, which we've mentioned in the past. So we're not actually using Unity's standard animator system with its state tree and everything, because we just felt that was primarily designed for animating 3D characters with skeletons and traditional that kind of traditional 3D animation, rather than hand drawing every frame. So what we've done is we've actually rolled our own code for this. So we've got a couple of classes. I'll just show you some of the details here. We've just got a couple of classes called Frame Animator and Frame Animation. So Frame Animation is just a bunch of sprite frames, pretty much, and it has two modes. It can either be a looping animation or an animation that plays to the end, which is usually used for transitions actually. And it's really liberating having such a simple system that you understand every single part of. I'm definitely a big believer in creating kind of simple tools for a simple job, rather than using a complex tool that might not do exactly what you want. So it's all very straightforward. So we already had this prototype climbing mechanic that's very much inspired by Zelda Breath of the Wild, where you have a stamina meter, you press up and down to climb up and down, and the stamina level decreases, and if it runs out, then you fall off, which is actually a very deceptively simple mechanic that works quite well. So one thing we wanted to do with animation is create this really smooth blend between running along the level, running uphill, scrambling a little bit, and then automatically blending into a climb. But this is only going to happen if there's a smooth enough gradient in the terrain. If you have something that's level and then a wall, she won't automatically begin climbing it. You will have to press a button in order to initiate the climb. And then something that we found when using these hand-drawn animations is it made sense to split up the animation into an idle for each hand. Oops, excuse me, she just fell off there. To have an idle for each hand, so that she sort of pauses there, and then have these transitions between where she reaches up with each hand. And then there was a lovely transition there where she climbed over the top onto the top of the cliff. As you can see, we still have the stamina meter here. So it's very similar to the Zelda one, but we have a couple of key differences. in Zelda, if you pause while climbing, the stamina won't be affected at all. But in our mechanic, what we have is that as you climb, it'll continue going down, but when you pause, it'll recover a little bit, but then after a little while, it'll start going down again. So the idea that we wanted to replicate from real climbing is that sense of while you're climbing, you might want to pause to recover a little bit, but you can't hold on to the cliff indefinitely. So there is a sense of urgency behind it as well. So while we've been working on this climbing mechanic, we've been wondering to ourselves, what role does it have in the game? How should it feel to the player? We understand in terms of the narrative or the tone of how it should feel in the game, but should it be a skills-based test where players who don't do it exactly right get punished, which would be the Celeste kind of model, or should it be just purely an aesthetic thing that you narratively you want to have a section where you do a bit of climbing and it's not really a skills test, you go through the motions and you see it happening and you get the sense that there could be danger but there isn't really danger? Or should it be something in between? And Zelda is perhaps another good example here to follow, because it's not really a skills test in the way that, say, the combat is a skills test. You do have decisions to make, you have interesting decisions that might affect whether you get hurt or not, but ultimately it's not a difficult thing to do, but it is something that will keep you on your toes and you do have to pay attention. Anyway, let me know what you think about what we've been working on. Leave a comment down below in the comment section, or leave us a message on Twitter, or join our Discord. We've got a really nice community on Discord, so we'd invite you to come and say hi. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.